Welcome to the Facilitators Deep Dive Podcast, your podcast on your way to facilitation mastery. Leading a company with 17,500 people.
Whoa!
It's no small feat.
Yeah.
Let alone trying to make that entire organization agile.
Right.
So today, we're going deep into the world of scaling agility.
Okay.
With insights from some flight levels experts.
Yeah.
Claus LeBeau
Uh-huh.
and Cliff Hazel.
Yeah.
And Swisscom Agile coach Matthias Fernandez.
Okay, cool.
Their conversation gets to the heart of the relationship between safe and flight levels,
Okay.
highlighting the strengths and weaknesses of each.
Right.
By the end of this deep dive,
Yeah.
you'll have a much clearer picture
Okay.
of how to approach scaling agility in your own organization, regardless of your role,
Cool.
regardless of where you sit.
Yeah.
So-
scaling.
Yeah.
What is scaling?
What is it?
I mean,
What is it really?
it's interesting because scaling isn't just about taking those agile practices you're using with small teams and multiplying them across the company.
It's not a simple copy and paste. Right?
Exactly. It's more about orchestrating all of those efforts, pinpointing where the real friction points are as you scale,
Okay.
and ensuring everyone is moving in the same direction.
Got it.
It's like a giant.
Matthias Fernandez
Yeah.
brought up a great point
Okay.
about the traditional project-based approaches.
Okay.
Whereas teams disband, all that accumulated knowledge
Right.
and experience just vanishes.
Oof, it's gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
He advocates for a product-focused model
Okay.
with stable teams that cultivate expertise over time,
Right.
similar to what they've implemented at Swisscom.
Yeah, and think about how that directly applies to your situation leading a company of 17,500. With a project-based model, you're constantly rebuilding,
Right.
retraining.
You're starting from scratch.
But if you have dedicated, stable teams focused on specific products,
Yeah.
that knowledge base becomes a real asset,
Yeah.
leading to more informed decisions and faster development cycles.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Swisscom is a massive telecommunications company, so their success with this approach is really telling.
Yeah, it's a good example.
Now let's get into the meat of this conversation.
Okay.
Safe and flight levels.
All right.
I love how they describe safe as this super detailed cooking recipe.
Okay.
It gives you everything.
Like what?
The ingredients, the instructions, even the specific roles and tools.
Right. And flight levels, in contrast, is more like a navigational tool.
Okay.
Imagine you're given a map and compass. You can see the terrain, understand the potential obstacles,
Okay.
and chart your own course to your destination.
So one is very prescriptive,
Yes,
and the other empowers you to find your own way.
precisely.
Yeah.
And Claus LeBeau, one of the flight levels experts, admits that even someone who often gravitates towards concrete solutions sees the power of flight levels to diagnose problems and tailor solutions for a specific organization.
Right.
Because as we all know, there's no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to agility.
Well, yeah.
Every organization is different.
Absolutely.
Claus also argues that this customized approach is critical in today's ever-changing business landscape, where organizations need to adapt quickly.
Yeah, you need to be able to pivot.
Having a framework that allows for experimentation and iteration becomes key.
But how can you understand something like safe through a flight levels lens?
Well, Matthias uses his experience at Swisscom to illustrate this.
Okay.
He points out that SAFE's Agile Release Train, a team of 50 to 130 people working on a single product, functions very much like a Flight Level 2 system.
For those unfamiliar, a Flight Level 2 system focuses on coordinating multiple teams working towards a shared objective.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is that you can have these Flight Level 2 systems nested within each other.
Okay.
Think of Russian nesting dolls.
Okay.
Each level coordinating a different scope of work, but all contributing to the overall goal.
And we see that with SAFE as well. Matthias highlights the solution train,
Yeah.
which coordinates multiple Agile release trains,
Right.
and then the portfolio level, both acting as those nested Flight Level 2 systems.
Exactly. It's kind of like a fractal pattern. You see the same structure repeating at different scales.
This layered approach provides a clear visual of how interconnected SAFE structure is and how those different levels need to collaborate effectively to deliver value.
It's like looking at an organization's blueprint,
Okay.
understanding how each piece fits together.
This brings us to another important aspect,
Right.
feedback loops and autonomy.
Yeah, feedback is crucial.
Now, SAFE often emphasizes a top-down approach.
Right, Puffin? Yeah.
Epics get broken down into features and then features into stories.
Your classic hierarchy.
But Flight Level stresses the importance of bottom-up feedback to keep things aligned with the overall strategy while allowing teams to solve problems in their own way.
It's a delicate balancing act.
It is.
You need to make sure everyone's rowing in the same direction.
Yeah.
But you also don't want to stifle the creativity and problem-solving abilities of your teams.
Right. You need to find that sweet spot.
Yeah.
Like giving them the trust and the freedom to navigate their own terrain.
Yeah.
But making sure they still have the map and compass to stay on course.
Exactly.
Matthias shared a really compelling example from Swisscom.
Okay.
Where they were able to pinpoint a bottleneck at the solution train level using flight levels.
Okay.
What was going on?
Insufficient feedback loops were causing work to pile up.
Oh.
Essentially creating a traffic jam in the system.
Yeah, just things getting stuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And they were able to increase flow and efficiency.
Right.
By improving those communication channels and feedback mechanisms.
It showcases the value of flight levels as a diagnostic tool, helping you visualize the entire system and identify areas for improvement, even within a framework like SAFe. And it really underscores the importance of information flow.
Especially in large organizations.
Yeah, in large organizations, so often those critical decisions are made at the top without a clear understanding of the realities on the ground.
So are SAFe and flight levels compatible?
Yeah.
Can they work together?
It turns out Matthias has a bit of a secret weapon.
Okay.
He leverages flight levels to analyze situations and ask the right questions, even when he's not explicitly referencing it.
So he's essentially woven it into his approach.
Exactly. He's internalized the principles and uses them to guide his thinking.
And that demonstrates that these aren't mutually exclusive methodologies.
Right. It's not an either-or situation.
You can use the strengths of both.
Yeah, you can blend them together.
To create a system that truly works for your organization.
To find that perfect balance.
Clause emphasizes this point as well, saying that flight levels can be used independently alongside SAFe or even to connect teams using different methodologies.
It's very versatile.
This flexibility is what makes it such a powerful tool for navigating the complexities of scaling agility.
It really moves away from the notion of a single prescribed path and acknowledges that different parts of an organization might need to operate in different ways to be successful.
But with SAFe's comprehensive toolkit, there's always that temptation to implement everything at once.
The kitchen sink approach.
Which can lead to overwhelm.
Yeah, trying to do too much too soon. Like drinking from a fire hose.
Matthias stresses choosing the right tool for the job.
Right.
Rather than trying to force-fit every single practice.
Focus on what's actually needed.
He draws a parallel to the shipbuilding simulation.
Oh, yeah.
Where participants often jump to solutions without taking the time to truly understand the system they're working with.
They just want to fix things without fully grasping the problem.
This raises an important question.
Yeah.
Are we genuinely embracing agility if we simply replace one set of rigid rules with another?
It's about changing the mindset.
Right. Not just the practices.
The core of agility
Yeah.
lies in that ability to adapt,
To be flexible.
to experiment, and continuously improve.
It's a journey, not a destination.
And both Claus and Matthias highlight the importance of storytelling.
Oh, storytelling.
And clear communication to translate high-level strategy into actionable goals for teams.
It's about painting a picture of where we're going and why.
So it's not just about dictating tasks from the top down, but creating a shared understanding and purpose.
It's about empowering teams.
Right.
To make decisions within a clear strategic context.
And that brings us to Matthias shared how flight levels fundamentally changed his own perspective on work.
Oh, interesting.
Helping him see how the different parts of the organization connect.
Like a systems thinker.
Yeah, and influence each other.
He started to see the bigger picture.
This shift in thinking allowed him to ask different questions.
To challenge assumptions.
And ultimately propose more effective solutions.
He moved away from that fix-it mentality.
Right.
To see the interconnectedness of it all.
That holistic view.
Exactly. And that's a powerful lesson for anyone trying to drive change in a complex system.
Especially when you're dealing with a company the size of yours.
Right.
With 17,500 people.
It's not just about changing processes or adopting new tools.
You have to shift those underlying mental models.
Those ingrained ways of approaching problems.
It's about stepping back and seeing the whole forest.
Yeah.
Not just the individual trees.
Big picture.
So what does this all mean for you
Yeah.
as you navigate this journey of scaling agility?
Well,
This deep dive has given you a glimpse into the power of combining safe and flight levels.
it's not about blindly following a recipe.
Right.
It's about understanding the unique dynamics of your organization
Empowering your teams.
and adapting your approach based on what actually works.
Yeah.
Here's a final thought to consider as you move forward.
Okay.
Think about those flight routes of information and work within your own company.
Are decisions and directives primarily flowing top-down? Or is there a healthy exchange of feedback coming from those teams on the ground?
It's about creating that balance
Exactly.
between strategic alignment
Yeah.
and giving your teams the autonomy to innovate and problem solve.
If this conversation has sparked your curiosity about flight levels,
Yeah.
Claus and Cliff encourage you to connect with their community.
Okay.
It's a great way to learn from other practitioners,
Yeah.
share your own experiences,
Absolutely.
and continue this journey of exploration.
Because scaling agility,
Yeah.
it's an ongoing process.
It is.
Not a destination.
And the more we learn from each other,
Yes.
the better equipped we'll be to navigate the complexities of today's business world.
Couldn't agree more. See you next time on the Facilitators Deep Dive Podcast, your podcast on your way to facilitation mastery. Until next time.
See you then.